Hi, how happy day, yay! And if you guys aren't familiar with me yet, I am Craftly, and yeah, I am an ace pilot. I solely fly on PvP servers on DCS with F-18, and I have how to completely obliterate everybody. Uh, Pretty much every time I fly, I get a couple kills. A lot of the times, I get like 5, 7 kills each flight, and yeah, I'm happy to teach how to completely own with F-18. Before you're able to do awesome stuff like this and have everybody be like, wow, he's amazing. Let's start with the basics. I'm going to teach you how I set up my plane and choose the missiles and my radar settings. And yeah, let's begin.
Cool, yay, and this is my first video tutorial on how to be a beast in the F-18 and totally dominate everything you see. Awesome, alrighty, well, I'm on VR. It's nice. So people have like track IR, which lets you like click around and stuff. Yep, whatever you like. Alrighty, well, first, let's do the ground setup. Okay, first, what we're going to do is we're going to choose our missiles. How to do this is with this handy dandy hotkey. Left alt and this button, which I have onto this. Left alt and apostrophe. Alrighty. And what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna choose our loadout. I scroll all the way down and I choose Fuel 3 AIM-120s. The AIM-9Xs are the most maneuverable sidewinders, and the AIM-120s I like because they have like the longest range and they're pretty nice. My personal favorite is I choose a couple. I only have one main fuel tank on, and I choose all AIM-120s and AIM-9Xs, just like this, which gives me 6 120s and 6 AIM-9Xs. You're able to choose your livery. Currently it's set to this. I like Viper. Which looks like this. Another cool one is like, well, whatever. It might vary on the map. This one's cool too. Spain, tiger meat, like tiger stripes. It's kind of cool. I am a Viper Nation, man. This one seems to be pretty camouflage already, and your fuel and stuff, and you click OK, and he'll rearm the plane for you, and you'll have missiles momentarily. Alrighty, next step while we're still on the ground is first I right click on my joystick to hide it, so I'm able to turn on these options here. Alright, this one is the dispenser bypass switch, which lets you dispense flares and chaff. Flares are your anti-IR missiles, infrared missiles, and chaffs like metal for keeping you safe from radar guided missiles. Alrighty, and let's turn the electronic warfare system on with this right here. And what I do first is I click the bottom middle button on here, and I put my electronic warfare page right here. How to put the electronic warfare page here is clicking EN, and I click HUD, which puts the data on the HUD. As you can see right here, E3 has a radar lock on me, or a radar blip on me, which would be the radar plane flying around somewhere around here. And yeah, this lets you have like what kind of radar is locking you and what it is. Like you can see behind us is an F-15, or there was an F-15 locking us. Okay. Alrighty, and one more thing is what we're gonna do is we're gonna click mode until this is standby says semi-automatic. Manual lets you manually dispense flares or chaff. But semi-automatic, like if you need to dispense flares, it'll automatically detect, oh yeah, there's an IR missile, dispense flares, and ta-da. Electronic warfare page is set up. Alrighty, next we are going to set up the helmet mounted display, which is this beautiful thing right here, which lets us look around and see where the enemies are, and this is the most valuable thing you'll see. Hello. Alright, first what we're going to do is we're going to click this right middle MDI PB-18 twice to bring up the support menu. and we're going to click HMD. And first we're going to click blink. Like, as you can see now, this HMD is not active on the edges. If you click blink, you can see planes underneath you and around you and right in front of you, which is very nice. And there's one more thing which we're going to want to set up on here, which is the data link. As you can see, if we choose our SA page, which we'll get to momentarily, we are able to see enemies and friendlies on it. All right, first we're going to click data link and on, right? And we are going to click data link again and on a few times until it turns on, right? And you make sure that both versions of data link are on. And there are the friendlies. And if we switch to the values, you're able to see all the enemies on here as well. We're going to turn ILS on as well, which is like a backup data link. And ta-da. This also lets you see friendlies and enemies on the HMD, which is nice. Even when they're on the ground, as long as they have the data link on. Alrighty, and one more thing we're going to do is click MIDA setup, and we're going to switch this value from 35 miles to having the ability to see enemies and friendlies up to 100 miles. Alrighty, and ta-da. There she is. This is pretty much everything here. We're going to arm our air-to-air, or we're going to arm our armaments. And you're going to click this button right here, select jettison rail button. This one's right for the middle because I only have one fuel tank. You can also choose these two, right? Obviously, exterior wing and interior wing. Alrighty, and selective jettison. I'm going to right click this right until it's on stores. And ta-da. Okie dokie, and we just got to press this button when a fuel tank is, external fuel tank is empty. And this number gets to 10,000, and ta-da, the aircraft will be more maneuverable. Alrighty, ta-da, and click the joystick again and have it on if you like. And we are pretty much ready to get in the air. This is how you arm the ejection seat, which you can eject with this button. Want to eject your canopy, press this, pull this, and yeah, we're pretty much ready for action. Alrighty, let's get this bird in the air and set up the air-to-air radars. Alrighty, make sure you put your landing gear and your flaps up. Landing gear up and flaps auto while you're flying, else your landing gear will break and you'll be able to shoot missiles. So make sure you do this right after you take off. And ta-da. Okay, so how do I set up my air-to-air radar? Awesome air-to-air radar for attack. Alright, firstly, I have this hotkeyed. I switched to my A-120Cs, which I have hotkeyed to this button right here. Options, hotkeys, just controls. And I have this hotkey to my joystick, but its button is this, left shift and D to switch to AMRAAMs. I have the Sidewinders and AMRAAMs. Sidewinders are the AIM-9X's short-range IR missiles, and the AMRAAMs are the long-range ones. I just bound this to the button, left shift and D, and you'll bring up your AIM-120. It'll be a big circle. Alrighty, first what I do is I switch this page to my SA page, because when you switch the missiles you have to check it again. Alrighty, and for the missiles, okay, so there's options here like 2 bars, which is like the width, how many bars it scans up and down, right? Like 1 bar, 2 bar, and 140 degrees is how wide it will scan, right? Like this. Like this is scanning like this. Right? Okay, so I'm gonna switch this to 4 bars and 40 degrees. How you're going to do this is clicking this. It's on 4 bars and 40 degrees. And you switch this button right here till it's on high PRF. And enemies within 20 miles of you, which is right here on 40 miles, I switch this to medium PRF, and I have this hotkeyed. And yeah, well, let's switch it to high at first. And one more thing we're going to do is going to click data. We're going to switch the 4 to 8, and data again, and ta-da. This will keep the radar blips on your map for 8 seconds instead of 4 seconds, which is nice to get a lock. Alrighty, and we're going to click set, which saves the settings for the AIM-120s. And so now we're ready to configure the AIM-9Xs. Okay, so we're going to choose your AIM-9Xs with the hotkey which you chose for them. And what I do here is I choose 6 bars, 20 degrees, high PRF, and 20 miles. And set. And so when you set them, as you can see, I switched to the 120s. It's 4 bars, 40. AIM-9X is already on 6 bars, so yep. Alrighty, and one more thing we're gonna do, which is the actual air-to-air mode. You're gonna click this RWS button, and it's gonna switch to TWS mode, track while scan mode. And you're going to switch manual to auto. And ta-da, here we have it. If we choose our AIM 120s and we switch the range a little bit so we're able to see a little bit further. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we have to turn our data link on. Data link, this is important. Alright, click data link on. Click it again. On. So you have both data link modes on and ILS on. And ta-da, there's our bandits, right? Now if we switch to 80 miles, we have this little cursor right here, which is bound to a button. And if you hover the cursor on an enemy, you're able to see he's doing Mach 0.9, which is like 500 miles per hour, and his altitude is 10,000 feet, which is very nice. And there's 2 bandits right here. And similarly, if you look around with your thingy here, you're able to see them. Like, see, they're over there to the right. Sometimes you aren't able to see bandits until you get too close, but like the VR-14, that's a friendly, but it has a circle. Enemies have like triangles on them. And yeah, he's 23.4 miles from me. And yeah, I'll switch this to 40 miles. You can see you've got bandits within about 30 miles of me, 8,000 feet. Alright, there he is. See, it's a V, that's an enemy. As you can see, the E3 right here, with the E3 right here, that was a radar lock. So now I don't see anything like the radar plane, or nothing's locking me, or anything here. Anything's here, so yeah. I'm going to take advantage of the most useful feature in aircraft, which is stealth. And yeah, if they're close to me, I'm going to make sure that I'm stealthy and make sure the radar planes don't see me. Oh, this mountain, he's going to see me. Let's see. We got a bandit here. The first thing I'm going to do is drop my tank, right? Because the fuel is here. Duh, drop the tank. And yeah. Looks like we've got a bandit stealthy here. And these are the basic commands of this. Alright, for the basic air-to-air radar, what you can do is with this cursor, which is, I have to check the button for it. Let me see. I have this bound to something. Alright, just controls, throttle. It would be throttle designator controller or something. Oh yeah, make sure you bound sensor, all the sensor buttons and the throttle designator, and you'll be able to move your cursor around on this thing. Right. I'll show you all these buttons right here too. Okay, but pretty much when you have the buttons ready, You switch between 80 miles. You make sure that the aircraft's within the middle of the scan zone. And yeah, there's some nice practice missions if you're not so familiar with locking bandits like this. But yeah, high PRF. And you'll be able to lock a bandit. Like, as you can see, there's a bandit behind me. Now I'm going to do something special. This radar mode's nice, but there's something called long range target acquisition mode. Awesome, cool. And I have one more special tip for when you're on this mode. When you lock a bandit, sometimes the radar gets like off center, like it'll spin like this, right? As you can see, it's like on the side. Just put your cursor right on the top, click it down, and it'll be centered again like this. Similarly, if you got bandits on the right of you, right, and they're over there, but you want to keep flying this way, and you want to scan wide, just click on the right side a little bit, yeah, and it'll start scanning like this on the right. And if you see a bandit right here, right, like there's an enemy. If you click down the button, you see how it like starts scanning very quickly, like at like an angle of like 10 or 10 degrees. You can like spot scan locations, which picks up the bandits faster, which helps you get a lock. And yeah, and just click down the button again, hold it down for a second, click it back to the top. And sometimes it does this. Just click manual and auto again, and it'll recenter. Make sure your altitude scan ranges are proper, like how it's at 23 and 30 is what you want to see there. If it's at like 99, make sure it's auto and centered, and you'll be ready for action. Which, as you can see, there's an F-15 10.5 miles from me. And all I have to do is get the bandit. It's in the middle of this cursor. Drop some flares because I just Fox 3'd that thing. And let's see, this missile should be good if that thing's still alive. There's bandit over there, you can kind of see it. If this missile had a good splash. There it is, splash F-15. Burrito smash. Yeah. Alright, and now that we splashed a bandit with my favorite mode, let's have a look at the controls right here. Okay, so for the right side of this, I have these bound to my my throttle. What the controls are what I have bound is these. Okay. Sensor control switched aft, forward, left, right, and these let you choose between modes like the long range target acquisition mode, which is if you put a bandit within 50 miles of you in the middle of your HUD, it'll pretty much lock them up every time. There's HACO, which is 5 miles, more accurate. And yeah, let's see. So what else do I have bound here? I have this. I have this bound, which is your the range of your radar right here. I have the range of all this stuff bound, so I'm able to switch between radar ranges, auto to manual, and this main one, which is I think this. See. Let's see what I have here. I'll have to pull up in a second. Alrighty, let's see. So, throttle, aircraft rudders, I have bound to my throttle. Bound to the throttle, dispense switch, make sure you have this bound. Forward shaft dispense button is what I have bound. This when you have semi-automatic, it'll dispense a chaff or a flare depending on the situation. When your aircraft starts beeping or you see someone fire a missile, just dispense this and you'd be good. Sometimes. There is also, see if I can find this. Radar elevation control. This is nice. Okay, so radar elevation control, which is this minus or equals, or this. You have your radar here, and you switch this right here to manual, which I also have hotkeyed. As you can see, the range is -99 to -99. Now this arrow right here indicates where your radar is scanning. So right now it's scanning down, right? Now where is it scanning? You're correct, it is scanning in the middle. You kind of need to keep your aircraft level for this to function properly, and sometimes it doesn't. But if you angle your radar like upwards, right, you got to band it at like 30,000 feet above you, right? You can angle this between 25 and 30 something, and yeah, it works best for your aircraft's level. And today you'll be able to pick up a bandit way up there, where in auto mode you're only scanning between 17 and 7,000 feet, just like right here. Nice. Ooh, we've actually got a bandit over there. Well, that's convenient. Yeah, we've got a bandit at 33,000 feet, right? So as an example. Alright, 40-mile radar. The bandit is at 29,000 feet, so we're going to angle this up. Alright, and now we're scanning between 12 and 37, and we've got him on radar. Ta-da! Right? We press sensor, we press undesignate on our throttle. And yeah, when this bandit gets between, this is like the ultimate best place for the bandit to be, for him to be able to, I just lock the lock. Just lock. Yeah, well, there's tutorials on missiles and stuff. I want to mostly teach you, make sure you see the tutorials on like air-to-air, and there's like some practice missions you're able to practice the settings with. But yeah. When the bandit is... Something locking me. What is it? The launcher is locking me. I'm like flying way out in the open here. Okay, I gotta actually turn around, else I'm not gonna be able to continue the tutorial efficiently. Unknown at 19 miles. Alright, there's another example of it, right? As you can see, this line right here is the best place for him to be. That's the maximum range of the missile. He's at 8,000 feet. 14.6 miles. I'm gonna splash this thing so I'm able to keep flying here. I got my long range target acquisition. He's within 15 miles maybe. Or the bandit is dark. Alright, he's not on the radar. I'm just gonna fly this way. Yeah. Make sure you launch when they're within range. And the closer to the middle line, the better. Alrighty, and yeah, make sure you tinker around with the buttons, and you get the ability to like do this with the sensor switch, left and right. You're able to choose between these and these, right? And there's the yellow thing here. It's on this one. You're able to hover over the aircraft, see what kind of aircrafts they are. Right, this one says unknown. They aren't identified yet. And yeah, these are pretty much like the control setups here. Alright, we already dropped our tank, I think, here. Right, you press this. Yeah, we already dropped it, so you've seen it. And yeah, well, let's see. So those are the controls. Okay, what other controls do we have here? I have these set up. I have PRF hotkeyed. I have auto and manual hotkeyed. I have the range of the radar hotkeyed. I have the range of my radar here hotkeyed, SA page. I have the amount of bars hotkeyed so that I'm able to set this up quickly. Right, medium high PRF. And yeah, these are pretty much the settings. Just make sure you hotkey like all the sensor switch depress buttons, which will be in a tutorial more geared for missiles. This is more like my setup. What I have my radar option setsu, and yeah, let's get to the video on owning bandits. Are you ready? I am.